My name is Maddie. I started barrel racing 2 years ago. My main problem at the moment is the gait. My horse used to go in perfect and now he doesn't. I've tried walking back and forth to the gate while we were waiting to run and he is fine. When it's not our turn to run, he goes in and out without a problem. However, when it's our turn, he is a nightmare and is dangerous. I stay relaxed as much as possible, but he rears and spins out of control. I'm not sure what to do and he is discouraging me. I know it's probably my fault, but I just need to know if there's anything I can do. If you can help me, I would appreciate it very much. I can't go on with him being so dangerous at the gate. Thank you for your time. Maddie, you're not alone with this issue, and I want to thank you for writing with your question because it's my hope that many other barrel racers will find the suggestions I provide in this Q&A helpful as well. Now, the absolute number one takeaway from this video I really want to get out there is that it's not about the gait. What's happening at the gate is only a symptom of a deeper problem. If you don't make a commitment to resolve that problem at its source, then even if you manage to get your horse in the arena without a fight now and then, you still won't have a permanent solution. What I am committed to is providing barrel racers with insight into understanding the real reasons why problems like this occur and how to create lasting solutions. First off, a gait or alley issue, even if it hasn't come to the point of being dangerous, is something that we have to take fast action on when it occurs. Horses learn through repetition, so the more you allow this behavior to take place, the more difficult it becomes to resolve. If you positively want to stop making the problem worse, then for the moment you must stop competing. It will take some time and a real commitment to fully work through this issue. To do so, you have to be willing to temporarily put your competitive goals aside. Secondly, I talk about this quite often, but in most extreme cases like this, there's usually a physical issue going on, especially when a horse used to enter the arena okay and then suddenly stops. There may be something about running the pattern that's causing your horse pain. This is common even if your horse isn't lame or there's nothing visibly wrong with him. Your horse is trying really hard to communicate something with you, but you have to learn to speak and understand horse and be a really good listener. So first and foremost, you'll want to schedule your horse for a thorough exam with an equine performance vet. It's also possible that your horse just dreads running barrels, which can happen if you run the pattern too much. When I look back at all the gait trouble I had with my mare as a kid, I know now that was the reason for our problems. These days I try not to make more than one fast run in a session, and I may only work at speed once or twice a week. When it comes to training barrel horses, the process does not look like the product. There should be a ton of slow work and dry work that takes place away from the pattern as compared to the actual time spent working the barrels at speed. In addition, it could be that there are some holes in your horse's education and in the relationship between the two of you. When a horse has been well trained to go where we ask, and they respect our requests and trust us, then they are generally happy to do whatever we ask. If your horse is not willing, it can be helpful to understand why. For example, is your horse high-strung and fearful with a tendency to get nervous? Or are they confident and pushy with a tendency to behave as if they have their own agenda? Understanding this can help you fine-tune the way you go about solving this problem. But the one thing that really helps in either case across the board is moving your horse's feet. Question for you. Can you influence and move any part of your horse's body in every other circumstance other than the gait? If not, your horse's education needs to be brushed up. If a horse doesn't consistently respond to you perfectly in every other situation, then you can't expect them to do so in such a high-pressure environment. Also, keep in mind that usually with a problem like this, when we think their education, trust, and respect for us is solid, it's really not. We just have to be very aware to realize this. Other symptoms of the same problem that cause your horse to refuse the gait will certainly show up in other areas, they'll just be more subtle. If there are any situations where your horse ignores you, even for a second, ask yourself, are they distracted and disrespectful, fearful and nervous, or just uneducated? It's very beneficial to do lots of groundwork as well as thinking of ways in which you can test the connection with your horse and ask them to move perfectly to your cues under saddle. You have to take time to better develop the mental, emotional, physical, and educational foundations, and then gradually test them under higher pressure situations. Improving your horse's responsiveness in all your day-to-day activity will help you create more willing responsiveness at the gate. This is not something that happens overnight. If you're not sure where to start, this may not be something you go at alone. Consider working with a professional to help you. When you're ready, you might ride with a few friends and try to create an environment that resembles an actual competitive run as closely as possible. That means warming up and entering the arena just as you would in competition. If your horse displays some of the negative behavior, but not as bad, then you still have a great training opportunity. You might also pay for several exhibitions in a row and spend those few minutes focusing only on the gait issue. When you do this, the key is to get your horse to move forward, even a little bit to start with. If he's not thinking about or moving forward, then you must purposefully move your horse in every other direction, such as fast, small circles or figure eights to the side, and then ask again to go forward. If they do take even a step, release the pressure. Whatever you do, don't allow your horse to freeze while you repeatedly kick them, or you'll make them even more dull. If they don't want to move forward, you'll make them uncomfortable by having to move a lot in every other direction, and then offer them the choice to go forward again. If they decline, again, really hustle them and change directions a lot. Flex them laterally back and forth and be really firm in how you call the shots. You want their focus to be on you. Also, when you ask your horse to go in the gate, do your very best to look forward and send your energy forward. Make sure you're not looking down or pulling back on the reins slightly while asking your horse to go forward. This is the #1 cause of rearing. The horse feels like they have nowhere to go but up when they receive such confusing signals. It's also really important that you keep your emotions in check. You need to be as firm as necessary, but it's possible to do so without frustration or anger. By doing all this, you're making the right thing easy and the wrong thing difficult. The point is that it's you that decides when, where, and how to move. Only when you feel like you've achieved success in environments that are similar to a competition, like practice or an exhibition, should you even consider attempting a real competitive run. If you feel like your horse is so far gone or so out of control that it's damaging your confidence or putting you or others in danger, then it's time to work with a professional who understands the deeper issue going on. Look for someone who utilizes horse psychology and solid horsemanship methods to help you resolve the problem. Keep in mind that horses do not purposely try to be difficult and naughty. They are only looking for the path of least resistance, and there are always reasons for the behavior we perceive as good or bad. Let's review the points I've covered in this Q&A. Again, Maddie, it will take some time and dedication, but you must be willing to put your competitive goals on the back burner temporarily in order to permanently solve this problem and do what's best for the physical and mental well-being of your horse. Remember, the way to think about this is that the goal is not to get your horse in the gate. Solving the underlying problem is the goal, and having your horse willingly go in the gate will be the end result. I hope this Q&A has been helpful, and if you have any questions or further tips for addressing gait issues, please share in the comments below. Your feedback is what adds even more value to the helpful articles and videos we offer here at barrelracingtips.com. Thanks for watching, and remember, applied knowledge is power.